Hello, this is The Slayer, and you're watching TVLine.com.
Welcome back to another edition of Reality Check, your weekly deep dive into all things unscripted television. I'm Michael Slezak. I'm here with Season 6 American Idol standout Melinda Doolittle, who is going to be in New York very soon.
March 18th through the 20th, I will be at 54 Below doing my new show called It Must Be Love, and I cannot wait. I'm so ready to sing my little tail off. I just can't wait.
American Idol Season 13, Top 13 week. The musical selection was super fresh. I sound like a really old person talking about something cool, like, that was super fresh. Melinda, wasn't it?
It was dope, man. I loved it.
Speaking of which, your favorite this week, I believe, was Majesty Rose.
I'm telling you, I was mad at her because I thought, why would you pick a song with a one-note verse? But she did some things to that one note that just, I don't know, she's just an artist. She just is.
Hey, you can't get too low, 'cause you get too high.
And that control. And then when she was like tipping on the tightrope, doing that little dance, listen.
The dance. It's that age-old thing, like throwing in these things because you feel them and because it's important to do them versus doing it just to show off. And she's never showing off.
I really think that Majesty is one of my favorite contestants across the board for American Idol, just because she's so fresh and because she does things that I would have never thought of.
I just love your individuality. There's nobody like you, Majesty.
Even from a genetic standpoint, like the gap in her teeth and her hair and everything, like everything.
Baby, tip on the tightrope.
I think my favorite this week was probably by a nose, Jessica Muse.
Okay.
Shinedown is definitely not in my musical wheelhouse. That's not a band you're gonna find on my iTunes.
Just like a crow chasing a butterfly.
She was so committed and into it. The vocal was so flawless that I was like, I dig this song.
I would just love to see your body relax just a little bit.
I agreed with J-Lo. She needs to loosen up through here and through here. And like maybe she could have moved away from the mic because I feel like a little physicality would have helped that performance. But the vocal and the feeling and the unexpectedness of it.
I guess I was just a little too late.
She has shot right up towards the top of my rankings.
I liked this performance, but I think I need 2 solid weeks from her to really get on board. I'm sorry.
I know what you're saying, and I think the challenge for Jessica is finding her voice as a cover artist. I think she's probably someone who does a lot of original material. She probably isn't used to dabbling into like theme weeks or covers, so she's gonna have to become very adept very quickly at figuring out which songs she can cover to bring out the best in her voice. I think the other person that we both agreed on, he's in both of our top 2s this week, was Alex Preston.
I feel like he takes these risks that I don't see coming, and I love that. I love the tone of his voice.
Take these words, I'm paraphrasing this relationship we're staging.
The one thing is that I'm kind of with Harry on the fact that his pitch,
Make sure you try to sing in tune. Just try to sing in tune.
it's almost like he kind of gets towards the end of the song and he just kind of lets go because he's just singing and not thinking.
'Cause here we are.
I was vexed at Harry's comment that it was too small and insular.
That was so inward that I didn't really feel what you were trying to sing about.
Sometimes the most exciting performances are the ones that are just quiet and smaller, and I don't want that discouraged from the contestants.
I think what he might have been saying to him is not necessarily how he sang the song, not vocally insular, but he keeps his eyes closed and he looks down quite a bit. Even Jason Mraz, who sings that song, would actually look at us. So I think that's what he's asking.
Gotcha.
And in that case, yes, do that too.
As long as he doesn't take it to like Emily Pires levels of like...
Stop.
As excited as I was by the musical selections this week, the first 45 minutes of Top 13 night were no bueno. It was sort of like the perfect storm when George Clooney's boat is getting sort of we were heading right into the eye of the storm.
I've heard all of y'all singing tunes this, so there must be some weird sound thing.
I do feel like in the first half of the show, some of the contestants were really having a hard time hearing themselves, hearing the music. I think that it caused them to be a bit more tentative. I mean, even Gina at the beginning of her song, when she was trying to sing softly, her pitch was going off, and she doesn't normally have that issue.
I was just guessing at numbers and figures.
And I think as the night went on, the sound man started to fix that.
Let's hope they've got them worked out and we don't have any more of that for the rest of the season. But sound issues aside, Mumbles McGee needs to learn how to open his mouth and get those words out. If he doesn't enunciate, I can't take the journey with him. Like, I don't know where he's taking me because I don't understand a word coming out of his mouth. You might be taking me into a cave with a butcher knife. I don't want to go there. We started with Aw Nah, and then we went into Malaya.
Okay. Listen, she had a rough night.
Little does she know it, I'm a wolf and she phony, 'cause at the end of the night, it's her I'll be hoping.
I don't know who let her pick that song. I mean, maybe I don't understand.
Run away, baby. Fall from my spell on you. Come on.
And then Kristen, she did dabble with her in-ear as well, but, you know.
Can we just say, though, the first half was gorgeous. Her vibrato, everything was just gorgeous on that first half.
Yeah, but we got like beautiful / disaster instead of beautiful disaster. It just fell to pieces.
Beautiful, oh, just a beautiful disaster.
We used to get pre-performance explanations with the mentors and with the contestants about where they were going musically, why they chose the song. Instead, we got like favorite color and pets, watching people brush their teeth. I don't want to see that. Why did Gina speed up the scientist? Why did Sam slow Unwell down to the point where I couldn't take it anymore?
I'm not crazy, I'm just a little unwell. I know right now you can't tell.
Why was that version of Folsom Prison Blues like, it was like everybody took speed?
Well, I hear the train coming, it's rolling round the bend.
And we didn't really get any sense of how much control creatively the contestants had. And I think when choices were made that seemed a little peculiar, I would really like to know if it was the contestants who drove that boat, or if they were like tied up and thrown in the hull. The hull, is that where you would throw someone? I don't know.
In the hole. Yes, we're still staying on the ship metaphor.
We're on the ship.
Okay.
The ship may be going down by the end of this episode, but we're on the ship. Help me out.
I would have rather known why they picked that particular song as opposed to, an odd fact about them.
Right.
I wanted to know, like, why'd you pick this? Why is this song you?
Musically, exactly.
Musically, that's what I want to know. Sometimes, given the time restraint on songs, we had to either speed a song up to get in all of the song that we wanted to, or slow it down if we only wanted to do like a verse, chorus, and a bridge, So tempo sometimes comes from your time restraints on that show. So I will give them that. I'm not positive that that's what happened to everybody, but sometimes it's a band issue as opposed to just a contestant issue.
Having Randy stand there 15 seconds before the performance and prejudge it while sorority girls are screaming over his sound is not helpful.
He was pretty good in rehearsal. We worked out some arrangement issues.
Let my ears come to this performance unscathed by your discovery of the word intonation.
That helps with the pitch and the intonation. So I think we're getting there, you know what I mean?
You can talk about it on results night all you want. You can throw your sound bites out there or whatever the producers want you to say, but don't prejudge the performance.
I'm in agreement with you on that one. Like, I didn't mind Randy on results night at all, but I see your face. It's like you... I see you.
Practice makes perfect.
Practice makes perfect. That's right, baby.
Two contestants that I also want to bring up before we switch over to The Voice. The sudden emergence of Caleb. That was one of the songs I didn't know going into this week. I dug it. It rocked. It had some funk and a cool bass line, and he sang the heck out of it and seemed to be having a great time.
They gave him some delay on his voice and some like crazy smoke pyrotechnics that just, amped that performance up a bit. Gave him the pimp spot also, so I was like, okay, we like him. I mean, it did backfire just a little bit. I mean, his hair was like standing on end.
The other contestant this week who I think slipped back, especially because she ended up in the bottom 3, was MK. She's sort of this interesting conundrum of a contestant because I think she has a lovely lilting voice. I think she has a certain authenticity about her.
Yes.
I loved that she picked an Alan Stone song. Something got lost in the translation. She didn't fully physically commit to what was happening on stage, and I think that may have cost her.
When the beat would come in, the groove would come in, she kind of settled down into it. It was just, when the line would be over, it was like she was like, do-do-do, and then sing, and then, oh, look over there.
How many hearts you gonna break before you find satisfaction?
I think if she watches it back, she'll see her mind wander.
All right, Melinda, let's jump into The Voice super quick. Week 1 of the blind auditions. I don't know why NBC hasn't greenlit a comedy with Blake, Adam, Usher, and Shakira.
I'm looking forward to Beat You.
You're not winning this year.
I didn't love Usher and Shakira the last season that they were on, but now I feel like there's just this groove going on with the group, and I love them. They cracked me up. There was great talent. I quite enjoyed the first week of The Voice. Can I just say that my favorite contestant was Devin? You, I believe, called him, what was it, overbaked? I think that's the word you used.
I love you in a place where there's no more space or time.
And I think I said Devin, but his name is really Delvin.
Right.
Right. Delvin's voice is amazing. It's not overbaked. I felt like the things that he did with A Song for You were gorgeous. Maybe right towards the end, he added a couple extra runs that didn't necessarily have to be there, but he landed them perfectly.
And when my life is over, remember when.
I'll take a wait and see approach on Delvin. It was just a little too jazz hands for me.
Jazz hands.
For me, Bria Kelly, Steamroller Blues. I get annoyed when contestants sing one note and the judges all go like, but with her, when she was like, and everybody was like, I was like, oh, I get it. I was like Shakira, like,
Her tone? Are you even kidding me? I have no idea how she's that young and connected like that to that song. I'm with Adam on that.
You haven't even been alive long enough to feel the pain that you were expressing up there.
What is happening that you can put that kind of feeling in a blues song like that? I mean,
ugly feeling.
It was guttural.
Ugly. I have to ask you a question, and it's like an age-old question with The Voice. It's how professional is too professional? How big of a pre-show fan base is too big of a pre-show fan base? We're looking at Christina Grimmie coming in.
I have about 2 million subscribers on YouTube.
She's got like 330,000 Twitter followers coming into the show. She opened for Selena Gomez on tour. She's got Selena tweeting her praises.
I love The Voice because it's like a second chance show.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it does. It gives people another chance. I just feel like she's probably right in the middle of her first chance. So that's what makes it a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
But the girl is so good. You have these people that have sung for Adele and all these different people coming on this show and that have been in the middle of that I think they just have to prove themselves.
The difference with Christina and Cassidy is they weren't singing backgrounds for anyone. They were headlining or opening act kind of situations. I guess the reason I get a little about Christina is because I felt like Cassidy's season, it was almost a foregone conclusion right from the blind auditions all the way through the end of the season. And no matter what she did, and I feel like Cassidy had a trajectory that was like this week to week. There were definitely some not so great weeks, but the judges just all were like, Cassidy! I'm experiencing some trepidation about Christina's fan base going in, and I want her to prove it week to week. I don't think anybody should have it just handed to them you know, during week one. And gosh, I hope that doesn't happen.